Hey, welcome back to another episode of Living in a Post-DMX World.
The world is a lesser place.
It's dark and hell is hot. I'm Jacob Trevor.
I'm Tim Groeschel.
This is the Let Them Fight podcast, where every week we find a couple of nutballs, that did some violent shit, and then we talk about them. Sometimes they're good people, like a war hero.
Yeah.
Sometimes...
Other times, they will make you lose faith in a just and loving God.
Or make you never want to touch a pork product again.
Or in the idea of any tenuous order to the universe.
Yes, there is no God. And life is pain and chaos.
Yeah, exactly. Life is chaos and random, and nobody loves you.
We love you, but only if you listen. Our love is tenuous and has conditions.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not your
very
parents.
Circumstantial.
Unconditional love is a lie made up.
We are the worst ratchet people ever. Our love is conditional entirely. We want to know what you can give us.
So be useful, and then we love you.
Yeah, exactly.
We got some quick shout-outs to give. We got a new iTunes review from Solipsistic God? Solipsistic, yeah. I Googled it, and I was like, I've never heard of this.
Yeah, I've heard of that
It's
word.
It's a whole philosophy of life and shit.
Yeah, it's solipsism. It's a whole thing. It's a word people use when they want to feel smart. Nice try, fucker.
Yeah, you hear that? That high school dropout figured you out.
Yeah, exactly.
He gives us a shout saying, come for the comedy, stay for the scum nut. And said that our show always brightens their day. I just assume it's a he. Okay. Brightens his day.
Yeah. And we got a couple new Patreons. So, we dropped that a few weeks ago. So if you do feel the need, if you got $5 burning a hole in your pocket, which is to say a month. So if you got $1 a week...
rounding up.
Yeah, you can throw that our way. God damn it.
Yeah, make it drizzle on us.
Yeah, exactly. And we had a few new ones. Our first female patron, Abby Hamilton.
No. There was Callie Velasquez.
Oh, that's right. I don't count her
because she was a Mean Boys fan.
Yes. She's lucky I consider her a human being. And then Eric Hunt, and of course our buddy Brett Voller.
Yep.
Off in the wildernesses of Colorado, posting gorgeous pictures that we wish we were there. And
trying not to hyperextend a knee or get into eye line of a bear.
Also, I'm trying my best to ignore all the posts with his wife and his kids and all that shit.
Yeah, you got to filter out the life behind the person.
Exactly. That's not important to me.
Exactly. I think that does it for all our shout-outs. We're nice and quick today. What you got?
Today, I got Richard Lawrence.
All right, nice bland. Dick Lawrence.
Yeah, Dick Lawrence.
All right.
Dick Lawrence was born sometime in 1800.
I always love when sometime around this time.
Yeah, because
documents are shit.
We got nothing here. Yeah, sometime around 1800, somewhere in England.
Okay.
His family moved to the U.S. when he was 12 years old.
I thought we fought a war to keep them out.
If only. And the family settled in Virginia near Washington, D.C.
Really? Uh-huh. They got out of the rainy shithole of England, and they're like, hey, let's go to one of the worst states America has to offer.
Also, let's go to D.C. Lawrence's childhood and early adult years were apparently totally normal.
Okay.
He was described by acquaintances and relatives as a, quote, relatively fine young boy who was reserved in his manner but industrious and of good moral habits.
So he's either going to be a whole monster or a soldier.
As a young man, Lawrence started working as a house painter.
Okay.
I guess this gave him a solid income because he stayed being a house painter well into his 30s.
Yeah, well, or he just had a low bar for life.
That's also possible. I think also he worked in his own shop. I think it may have been his business.
Okay, well, yeah, that makes that would be good income then.
Yeah. He, to help support everybody, he also lived with his sisters and brother-in-law.
Ugh.
I know.
You gotta hear your sister get dug out every night?
I know. God,
that can't be fun.
Horrible. Now, in 1832, so about the age of 32, Lawrence starts getting a little odd.
Too much lead-based paint?
That's the theory.
Okay.
And it's not just lead. They used all sorts of funky chemicals in paint back then. And being around it constantly may have fuckoed his brain.
Oh, man. Okay, so he's got some Swiss cheese brain.
Yes. Out of nowhere, he abruptly announced to his family that he was returning to England.
Okay.
Yep. He left Washington and returned a month later, which I don't know if you know about ship power in 1830s. That's not enough time to go to England and back.
Yeah, no, he got like halfway and turned around.
No. He told his family that he decided not to travel abroad because it was too cold.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, things are getting odd.
Yeah, that's definitely some brain trauma.
Yeah. Shortly after returning, he again announced that he was returning to England to study landscape painting.
Now that it's warmed up a bit.
Apparently. And he's going to be a landscape painter.
Okay, yeah, this dude's
I've painted all the houses, now I need nature.
This dude's for sure burning down an orphanage or something.
Yeah, pretty much. Lawrence left once again and briefly stayed in Philadelphia before again returning home.
He got to Philly and he's like, I can't stay here.
Oh, wait till you hear about why.
Oh, no.
He told his family that, quote, unnamed persons had prevented him from traveling abroad, and that the U.S. government disapproved of him and his plans to leave.
I've never heard unnamed person used to refer to black people before.
Well, because they got names. All right, if there's one thing they got, it's fucking names.
Yeah, but we can't pronounce them.
Yeah, I know, exactly. So yeah, he thinks random people who work for the government want to stop him from going to England.
No one stops you from going to England. We're going to stop you from coming back, maybe. But you can leave. That's fine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it gets weirder. He claimed while he was in Philadelphia, he read several stories about himself in the newspaper that were critical of his travel plans and his character.
He just read the Huck Finn and thought that the painting the fence kid was him?
Yeah, I guess.
He's like, how do they know that's what I call my friend?
When you think that news stories are about you, you've reached a new level of paranoid delusion.
Unless you're a celebrity, in which case, yeah, they are.
Then you got to comment.
Yeah.
But this dude doesn't even have, like, fucking, like, D-list. This guy's nobody.
So, like Kathy Griffin.
Worst. Well, maybe not. He's not a redhead, so.
Yeah, he's got that going for him. He has a soul.
Yep. Lawrence told his family that he had no choice but to return to Washington until he could afford to buy a ship and hire a captain who would sail to England for him.
Jesus Christ, this guy. Okay.
Around this time, he abruptly quit his house painting job.
Probably for the best.
When questioned by his sister and brother-in-law as to, you know, how he was going to make any fucking money, he claimed that he didn't need to work because the U.S. government owed him a large sum of money.
Huh.
Yeah.
Like they're going to give him reparations.
For what? We don't know.
For keeping him from going to England.
Actually, why he's owed money, we'll come back to that.
Did he paint the White House?
It's some interesting shit.
Okay.
He also started getting not just paranoid, but hostile towards others.
That's the natural graduation there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He began verbally and physically abusing his family, mainly his sisters, over imagined slights.
Get dick down in my earshot, will you, whore?
No, I wish it were that like
justifiable?
legitimate. I wish it were a legitimate thing. All right. In one instance, he threatened to hit his sister with a paperweight because he thought that she'd been talking about him behind his back. Again, standard paranoid delusional insanity.
Yeah, he's batshit.
Yeah. Another time, he threatened to kill a maid who he thought was laughing at him.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. This dude is off the fucking reservation.
I'm picturing it's Wanda Sykes from Down to Earth, so she was laughing at him.
That'd be great. She was the fucking maid. Oh, God. Several friends and acquaintances said that Lawrence would engage in nonsensical conversations with himself.
That's so bad. That's not
good.
There's so many red flags.
Exactly. Admittedly, they could say the same thing about us, but that's how we build material.
Yeah, when I'm talking to myself, it's not I'm talking to myself. I'm talking out loud.
Right.
Like I'm writing notes that way.
Exactly. Others stated that he would suddenly erupt into fits of laughing and other times cursing fits.
So he's the Cheshire Cat and the Mad Hatter.
Yeah. No, he's the hobo you see on the street going, motherfucking...
Oh, yeah. The ones that talk like that are the most horrifying.
Exactly.
Because you know they're like one misstep away from snapping.
Exactly. Now, remember that he thought he was owed money from the government. His reason why, I will give him credit for. If you're going to go batshit, go all the way batshit.
Go on.
Lawrence had come to believe that he was owed this money because he was, in fact, Richard III, the King of England.
Richard the Lionheart?
No, that was way before this.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't know. He could be reincarnated.
No, this is Richard the Lionheart's third son.
Jesus Christ.
Or I should say grandson.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Bear in mind, of course, Richard III had died in 1485. He was off by almost 400 years.
Oh, yeah, but I was absurd for assuming you meant Richard the Lionheart.
Yes. Yeah, he thought he was Richard III.
And no one thought to maybe put him in a white coat in a padded room at this point?
For real. Hold on. It gets better.
Look, Tom...
Because, again, being Richard III doesn't mean you just get money.
Tom got sent away for way less.
Oh, way less.
Yeah.
But that's because we know about this shit now.
Okay, fair.
Now, again, being Richard III doesn't mean the U.S. government owes you money.
No.
No, here's his reason, is that because he was Richard III, he owned 2 English estates. And for some reason, that meant that the U.S. government owed him money on those for his claims on those estates.
There's a lien on my house.
In Britain. Even though this is the U.S. government, this dude is so gone.
Yeah, at this point, if they're not locking him up, they might as well bring him sacrifices.
Yeah. Lawrence's outward appearance also started to change dramatically.
As it does.
Yes, especially when you think you're a king.
Oh, no.
Yep, he was pretty normal up until this point, as I've stated, which meant he dressed pretty normally.
And then he went to a costume shop and was like, bring me your finest cape and crown.
Indeed.
Oh.
He also grew a mustache, the quintessential sign of somebody going insane.
Yeah, that is step one.
Yeah. You either always had it like Tom Selleck, or you are a lunatic.
Yeah, you can't midlife crisis a mustache.
Nope. He started buying insanely expensive and flamboyant clothing as befitting his royal lineage.
With what money?
Oh, from the fucking, all the painting shit.
The stuff that he stopped doing?
Yeah, well, no, actually, he did go back here and there.
Okay.
He would also change clothes 3 to 4 times a day.
It's like a black comedian.
But less flamboyantly dressed.
Oh, he didn't have gaiters that matched his fedora?
Unfortunately not. Way less purple. He took to standing in the doorway of his home for hours, just looking out into the street.
Oh, no.
Like presiding over his kingdom. Neighborhood children would jokingly address him as King Richard.
They're just encouraging him.
Yeah, which he loved, not realizing they were making fun of him.
Yeah, insane people don't have a great grasp on sarcasm.
No, they don't. Oh, God.
I know when there's this much buildup before the first body drops that it's a significant drop.
Well, again, this guy doesn't put up a huge body count. The violence really is for what's about to occur and for the beating of his sisters.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Again, he's not the most violent guy. It's just what he did is noteworthy.
That's what I mean. It's going to be a significant... Just like Richard Keyhole or whatever his name was.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like no bodies. Full schoolhouse of children.
Yeah, exactly. Lawrence then became convinced that he was not receiving his money from the U.S. government. Because, again, you got to have a scapegoat when you're a lunatic.
I mean, he wasn't going to get his money, so technically he's right this time.
Yes. However, but again, as you know, a crazy person always needs a scapegoat because obviously reality does not line up with their insane delusions, which means somebody's out to get them.
I'm assuming at this point his mom's dead, so we can't blame her.
No. Who was responsible but President Andrew Jackson?
I mean, he might be.
Yeah.
His whole thing was shutting down the centralized banking stuff.
You're right. And that was the perfect excuse.
There we go. I can think like them now. We've been doing this podcast too long.
Yep, because of his opposition to the second bank of the United States. He felt that Jackson, if he were no longer in office, Vice President Martin Van Buren would establish a national bank and allow Congress to pay him the money for all his English estate claims.
He was right up until the part where he said pay him his money.
Yeah, exactly. He was onto it for a minute.
Van Buren would have absolutely brought the bank back.
Oh, he would have caved immediately.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he did. They made the national treasury under Van Buren.
Yeah, they did. Jackson was the only president where we had zero deficit.
Lawrence's actions then took another grim turn. That's always a bad sign.
Yes, it is.
when he started tracking President Andrew Jackson's movements.
Oh, no. Oh.
You got it, don't you?
Yep. I know where we're at. Before we started recording, Tim said, I won't recognize the name, but I'll recognize the story. And it just clicked.
Like I said, nobody remembers the name because why would you?
Yeah.
People would later say that they often saw Lawrence at the paint shop muttering to himself about Andrew Jackson.
Motherfucker, I should have gotten it right away when you said Richard III.
I know.
But it didn't click until Andrew Jackson's name came in.
Yep.
Yeah.
At this point, he now believed, because again, it builds. It's not like you just have one insane delusion.
No. Crazy start is a period of time.
Yes.
You know, it's just like you don't have an overnight success. What you have is years of buildup and then one...
That nobody was privy to.
Exactly. And insanity is the same way.
Yes, it is. He now believed that Andrew Jackson had killed his father in 1832.
Yep.
Even though Lawrence's father had died in 1823.
So he thinks he's Richard III, but doesn't think his dad is Richard II.
Maybe. I don't know. It's tough to say.
Yeah, well, it's insanity.
That's what I mean. It's tough to parse all of it out. All I know is that, admittedly, if you were going to blame Andrew Jackson for something, killing a family member is not that insane. He dueled so many fucking people.
If this dude was alive at a time with cork boards, he would have one with a ton of names and yarn attached to
100%, like Charlie Day in the mailroom.
Exactly.
He would totally be that guy.
But unfortunately, we didn't have that technology back then.
Nope. So he was just stuck scribbling in books and mumbling to himself like a lunatic.
Oh, God.
So, Friday, January 30th, 1835, Lawrence was seen sitting in his paint shop with a book in his hand, laughing to himself. Again, not a good sign. Also, a real open micer thing to do again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so bad.
It's troubling that the quintessential actions of a lunatic are tough to decipher that of a comedian.
Yeah, it's upsetting. Not surprising.
Then, this is what's different. Lawrence suddenly got up, walked out, and stated aloud, "I'll be damned if I don't do it."
No, that's still an open micer thing to say.
Yeah. Just not as fancifully.
They said I couldn't do 17 abortion jokes in 3 minutes. I'll show them.
Yeah. As we sat in the audience and said, yes, but like Jurassic Park, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Aborting a life finds a way.
Yeah. An aborted fetus can't find a way. On that morning, Andrew Jackson was attending a funeral for South Carolina Representative Warren R. Davis of the at the U.S. Capitol.
I just opened the monster can with all the traditional tattoos.
Oh, yeah,
on it.
that's the one that tastes like fucking pixie sticks.
It tastes like a juice box that's mad at me.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good description of all energy drinks.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
A juice box that's mad at me. So, yeah, Andrew Jackson is at a funeral at the U.S. Capitol building.
One that he caused?
No, oddly enough, it wasn't his fault. Lawrence had originally planned to shoot Andrew Jackson as he was entering the funeral. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get close enough to him in time.
Yeah, he wanted to do it Columbine style.
Yes. So, when Jackson left the funeral, go ahead.
There's an offshoot of In-N-Out, like a knockoff In-N-Out in Colorado. Uh-huh. And I really want them to change like their version of animal-style fries to be Columbine-style fries.
Oh, man.
Just really like dive into that Colorado-ness.
Ooh, Jesus. So when Jackson left the funeral, Lawrence had found a space near a pillar on the east portico of the Capitol building where Jackson would be passing by. Mm-hmm. As Jackson walked past, Lawrence stepped out and fired a pistol at Jackson's back. Uh-huh. It misfired. Mm. Lawrence quickly made another attempt with a second pistol, which also misfired. Jackson, being the guy who, as we stated, has engaged in countless duels over his life.
And just a general violent asshole.
Yes. Must have just sensed that someone was attempting to murder him. Because he turned around and saw Lawrence standing there with two guns that wouldn't shoot. And so the 67-year-old president of the United States proceeded to beat the living shit out of him with his cane.
I've got you for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Bonesaw is ready.
Oh my God. A 67-year-old man just wails on this dude.
Beats him with his cane.
Yeah, he did. Until his own staff pulled him off the guy.
Wasn't it like... no, this was pre-Secret Service, wasn't it? Or post?
No, it was pre.
It was pre-Secret Service. Okay, yeah, so they...
Well, remember, the Secret Service originally started as...
Well, they're doing counterfeit money and stuff.
Yeah, but that was also mainly for Civil War. That's when they kicked up.
Yeah, that's right. So this is, just his own staffers are like, you can't beat this man to death.
Exactly. His own, his secretaries pulled him off. The crowd, which insanely included Davy Crockett. Once Jackson got pulled off of Lawrence, Davy Crockett and a couple other guys in the crowd wrestled Lawrence to the ground, making sure he couldn't flee.
Imagine being the guy that gets beaten down by Andrew Jackson and arrested by Davy Crockett.
That's a weird treasure hunt of life. It's like you got that.
It's just you want to live your life as a footnote in more famous people's stories.
Yeah, pretty much. Lawrence's pistols were examined afterwards and, oddly, found to be in perfect working order.
It could be like something just didn't spark.
Well, yeah.
Which wouldn't set off the powder in the pan.
Yep. Here's the thing. Again, it was said that there's no reason that they should have misfired, upon examination. However, it has been noted that model of pistol was susceptible to misfiring when wet, and it had been drizzling that morning. It had been a real damp day in Washington. So... that's probably what happened.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Back then, wet in general would fuck your guns up.
Exactly.
Especially if the model's even more susceptible, like it's not closed enough to
imagine a misty fucking DC morning.
Yeah.
It's a fucking swamp as it is.
Any water gets into that pan, you gotta get the spark, but you're not gonna set the powder off because it's all damp and shitty.
Exactly. So this was the first time in American history an assassination attempt was made on a president.
Yeah.
7 presidents deep. That's not too bad.
Let's see. That's it's like a good amount of years. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
That's at least 28 years.
Yeah, it's a good amount of time.
I don't remember how many presidents got multiple terms back then.
Well, I mean, Washington, Jefferson.
Well, Washington just did one. No, he did two instant bounced, right?
Yeah, that's why 2 became the standard.
That's right. So 32 years from there. Yeah, 36. So we're a few decades in.
Yeah, before anybody even tried to murder a president.
Yeah, and now...
And it failed miserably.
Oh, yeah, it failed real bad.
So, almost immediately, as one would imagine, the conspiracy theories began.
Mm-hmm.
A British woman named Harriet Martineau. She's widely regarded, by the way, as the first female sociologist in history.
Shit, okay.
She happened to be visiting Andrew Jackson at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a quote from her. She was there.
Okay.
Before 2 hours were over, 2 hours from this attempted shooting, the name of almost every eminent politician was mixed up with that of the poor maniac who caused this uproar.
Jesus Christ.
Jackson protested in the presence of many strangers that there was no insanity in this case. He thought it was totally premeditated.
Oh, Andrew Jackson thought it was premeditated?
Yes.
The banks.
Yeah.
They're coming for me.
I was silent, of course. He protested that there was a plot and that the man was a tool, and at length quoted the Attorney General as his authority.
Jesus Christ. Did anybody think to talk to him and be like, oh, yeah, you're crazy?
Yeah. It was painful to hear a chief ruler publicly trying to persuade a foreigner that any of his constituents hated him to death. And I took the liberty of changing the subject as soon as I could. Can you imagine trying to change the subject after somebody tried to kill you?
Also, yeah.
Weird weather today, huh?
Anybody that talks to this dude knows he's batshit.
Yeah, Andrew Jackson's a lunatic.
The children could figure out he was a batshit crazy person. But our president was like, no, it's a plot.
Jackson's main theory was that Lawrence had been hired by a senator from Mississippi, a guy named George Poindexter. Hold on, because one of the best names in the podcast history is about to be dropped.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm only including this detail to say the name.
Okay.
All right. Poindexter, months earlier, had hired Lawrence to paint his house.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Even though the likelihood of Poindexter being behind this is slim to fucking none.
Right.
It still fucked his entire career and he lost re-election.
And it's the person he lost to, his name is cool?
No.
Oh.
It's his wife.
Oh, his wife has the baddest name.
Yes.
Okay.
It was his second wife. His first wife he accused of fucking around, and his second son actually being his neighbors.
Okay.
His second wife, who he then married, was named Agatha Ballchin.
What?
2 words. Middle name Ball, last name Chin, 2 N's.
I feel like her parents hated her.
Oh, yeah, you think?
What should we name this creature? Ball Chin.
Agatha Ballchin. Also, just being in the Chin family's a bummer.
That sounds like the name of a 60-year-old stripper in Mississippi. Let me get a dance from Agatha Ballchin.
Oh, God. I found that name, and I'm like, I don't care that it's not relevant to the story. I'm putting it in.
More people need to know the name of Agatha Ballchin.
Yeah. Hear the harrowing tale of Agatha Ballchin.
Sing it from the mountaintops. She'll be coming round the mountain.
Lawrence eventually was brought to trial, of course, April 11th, 1835, at the District of Columbia City Hall. He got the big time.
Yeah, okay.
The prosecuting attorney was Francis Scott Key. Yeah, the guy who wrote the fucking national anthem.
This dude really is a footnote in everyone else who's famous' story.
I told you, the name drops in this episode are bizarre.
Yeah. Oh my God. Does he go down on like the world's first feminist or something too?
Yeah, her name was Agatha Ballchin.
Susan B. Anthony, that's the name I was thinking of.
At his trial, Lawrence was prone to wild rants.
Because he's crazy.
Yes. And when the jury was being given their instructions for deliberation, Lawrence stood up and shouted at them, "It is for me, gentlemen, to pass judgment on you, but not you upon me." Because, again, he believes he's the King of England, and he won't have these peasants judging him.
How dare you think that you can preside over me, the king?
The jury deliberated for 5 minutes.
And that was just 5 minutes of, you see how batshit crazy that guy is?
This dude is fucking bonkers, right?
Yeah.
They came back with the verdict of not guilty.
By reason of insanity?
By reason of insanity.
Yep. It's hard to argue.
It is. It's tough to fight.
Yeah.
When you think you're the King of England and that Andrew Jackson murdered your father 9 years after he was already murdered.
Oh, this crazy bastard.
In the years after his acquittal, Lawrence was held in several institutions and hospitals. He ended up in 1855 being committed to the newly opened government hospital for the insane, nowadays St. Elizabeth's.
Because the trick is with an insanity plea or not guilty through insanity, is they're supposed to keep you until you recover, and it doesn't sound like this dude's ever going to recover.
No, he's not ever going to recover.
To be around normal society again.
Nope. He ended up remaining there until his death, June 13th, 1861. He was 61 years old.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. Also, my favorite detail while we're researching this person was his Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
The title of it at the top is Richard Lawrence, and then parentheses, failed assassin. Like I said, I knew you'd know the story.
Yep.
It's just the name is what would throw you.
It's fantastic to learn all the other details about
yeah,
it.
just how insane he was.
Get the build-up to the batshittery.
Yeah. Once again, proving that in America we need better infrastructure for our crazy people.
Yeah, just ask Reagan.
Yeah, right, exactly. or what's his name? Cleveland.
Yeah.
He got plugged by a lunatic.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. There's been a lot of just insane people to shoot our presidents over the years.
Hey, look, in some cases we can blame a book. Catcher in the Rye inspires you to do some crazy thing. Or is that the guy that shot Lennon?
Both, actually.
Oh, well, then he's a hero.
Yeah.
He missed Yoko Ono. That was the only problem.
Yeah, that was the problem. Shot the wrong person.
No, I'm fine with Lennon going too.
Yeah, I don't really care. I was never a big Beatles fan.
The Beatles are overrated.
Yeah,
you had how many years to steal from black musicians to make
there
your
you go.
mediocre shit?
Exactly.
I don't care about your submarines or Strawberry Fields, you fucking bowl-cut faggots.
Yeah. You guys did weed once and then took acid a couple times and think you're the shit. Go fuck yourself. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of It Doesn't Matter If You're Crazy. Sometimes you still can't shoot a motherfucker.
The presidential stories you want to hear.
Right, exactly. This is the fun stuff.
Yeah, it's like when that dude threw the shoe at George Bush.
Yeah. I'll be honest. Do you want to hear the story about how Andrew Jackson didn't like banks and stopped the second bank from being formed, and that caused a recession? Or do you want to hear about this lunatic who thought he was the king of England trying to murder him?
I also want to hear about like that time he pulled up with like a chair and a whip like a lion tamer and forced the Indians to Oklahoma.
Yeah, but that's not unique to him. So many presidents did that.
I mean, sending them to Oklahoma was his doing.
Yeah. No,
hey, you live in
But also, that's like that. This is like number 8 in the batshit Andrew Jackson stories.
Yeah,
like he
probably should have his own episode.
Yeah, he certainly led a violent enough life.
Yeah,
I mean, we all called him Old Hickory. I can't remember what tribe it was, but during like when he fought against the native tribes in the army, like around the War of 1812, their nickname for him was Sharp Knife.
Yeah,
so
I might do an episode on him at some point. Yeah, he's fun.
It's worth it. He is fucking crazy. He is the craziest president we've ever had.
Yeah, that is
which is accurate. Really saying something.
Yeah.
Also, up until his time, one of the oldest. He was one of the older ones.
He was in his 70s, right?
No. He started in his mid 60s.
Okay, so Trump's older.
Oh yeah, so is Biden. Way older.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. At the time,
well, at the time he only had 7 dudes to beat.
Yeah, and he beat them all.
Yeah.
Also, he would have been there 4 years earlier, but John Quincy Adams told him to eat a dick.
Yeah, that was back when like you serve as Secretary of the Interior or whatever, and then become president after.
Yeah, exactly. So, as always, it's the rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yep.
All that bullshit. We also have a Patreon now, so if you feel like you got $5 a month burning a hole in your pocket, give it to us.
Or, you find it. Dig in your couch, get some change together.
Exactly. I have a change cup in my bathroom that has more money than that in it.
I have a cigar box in my back seat full of change.
There it is.
as I buy things, I throw the change into it and let it build up, and then cash it in at the non-taxed Coinstar that my bank has.
There you go.
So I don't have to give anyone a 15%.
Yeah, spoken like a real Jew.
I get to keep all of it because I'm smart.
Okay. Yeah, I just, when I get home at night drunkenly and there's change in my pocket, I just dump it in that glass, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, that fits you, just like mine fits me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Believe it or not, we act pretty on brand.
Yeah, I avoid fees. You do things while drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
It's accurate.
Yeah, we got the Patreon. We got all that.
Mm-hmm.
If you have fucking psycho from history, even a recent history, it doesn't really need to be that far away.
Yeah.
By all means, hit us up. Let us know. We will look into it. And, of course, if you leave one of those, if you sign up for a Patreon and send me a message, I will just do it that fucking week.
Or leave it in an iTunes review.
Or leave it in a review on iTunes or whatever the platform is you listen to us on.
Yeah.
But beyond that, this airs Tuesday. Technically, we have a show Saturday.
Yeah, we got a show Saturday if you're in the area.
Yeah, if you're around Southern California.
If you live in Orange County or anywhere near Anaheim, really.
Yeah, exactly. We're doing a show at Silent Brewery because now I've gotten Matt to go along with me to every brewery and start a show there.
Yeah, you're his comedy Sherpa.
I am. No, I'm like a producer. You know what I mean? Like I go on scouting scout locations.
What's with they have location scouts?
Yeah, that's what I do.
You're not a producer.
Yeah,
don't hype yourself up too much.
I'm a location scout.
There's a comedian in L.A. that did all of that, like the location scouting on heroin. It's not that hard.
No, I'm not saying it's hard. And in fact, I did it on accident just because I'm a drunk.
True.
So that's just the way it ended up working out.
Booze hound to stage truffles.
Indeed. We got a show there April 17th. Previous guest of the show, Anthony Davis and Tom Goss will be there.
Yep. It's at 7 p.m.?
8.
It starts at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
There we go. Saturday.
But get there at 7. Get a couple drinks in you.
Yeah, Saturday the 17th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a killer food truck, too.
Oh, we got a food truck, apparently?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Which one, do you know?
Boo Kitty Fuck or something.
That's not it.
Yeah, that's definitely not it. I want it to be Viking Truck. I missed that
I know.
truck.
Viking Truck was awesome. For those who don't know, it was just giant sausages.
And they were amazing.
Oh, yeah,
And
the best of them to me anyway was what they called the Nemesis, which was the smoked bratwurst corn dog, which is just as magical as it sounds.
They had some tasty ass hot dogs.
Yeah, there was some good stuff. Anyway, we're getting off track. Our fatness is taking hold.
Can't fight the fat urge.
Yep, pretty
to talk
much.
about food.
Mama Ono Bites.
Mama
Ono
Bites.
Bites.
Food truck.
Okay,
I have
never
no
heard
idea
of
what that is.
Don't know them.
Just go there and watch Tim. If he looks happy, it means the food was good.
Yeah, but even if I look mad, the food could still be good.
Yeah, that's fair.
My default state is rage.
Resting heart rate of 1,000.
Yeah, exactly. Just hatred. If you want to hit us up on our own personal social media for whatever fucking reason.
Or the podcast social medias. We have those too.
Yes, those are probably your better bet if you actually want us to respond.
I respond on my personal.
Okay.
As long as you'd hit me up on Instagram earlier today.
there
Sent me
you
a
go.
whole bunch of names and asked about the Patreon and a couple other things.
Cool. But yeah, for our own personal one, it's T.Rochelle on Instagram and Ackles Pistachio on Twitter.
Jacob Tremor on Facebook, Jacob M. Tremor on Instagram.
And I think that'll do it for us today.
Yeah, music.